and we are honored to have you here. Please welcome our Minister onto the stage.
Thank you very much, Lian, the Program Director. Let me acknowledge Ngema Zuma, the former First Lady, but as well Umamoe patron and the founder of the Ngema Zuma Foundation that has been doing wonderful work. I think most of us would have seen the work that she does, and I think it touches many lives, and I thought it's important. Sometimes we recognize our leaders and the women in their categories in supporting, but I think she's a distinguished woman in her own, so I thought it's important for me to do that. Our guest speaker, Dr. Sipati Makunyan. I'm not going to say much about, I call her Osipati. I'm not going to say much about her because she's going to be introduced later. Ambassadors who are here, high commissioners who are here with us, our sponsors, I'm sitting with representatives of Tata with us today, and the sponsors of Laurel who are here, VIP guests who are here, our DGs and DDGs. I almost didn't recognize my team this evening. They're looking good, I must say. When you work with people, so there's another side that you hardly see at times. So today I got exposed on another side. CEOs of our science councils, chairpersons who are here, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very honored to be here amongst you as we are about to honor the women who are doing great work in science and technology. Our theme this year is 100 Years of Albertina Sisulu, Women United in Moving South Africa Forward. We are very excited about this year, and we are looking forward to more and more singing, us being able to recognize Mama Sisulu and being able to say, this is who she is and stands, as Lian was reading her profile and who she is. I think many of us will get to really be exposed to this distinguished South African in her absence, though, as she has passed on, but I think her legacy lives on. And it's one of the women that we must really feel proud of, as many of us grow up looking up to her, looking at her values and saying, indeed, if she was able to make it through, what would make us not succeed? We chose this theme because of you to know we are celebrating her centenary. And it requires us as well, as all of us as South Africans, especially women, to ask ourselves, who is Mama Sisulu? And ask ourselves, what does she, or what she stood for? What does the legacy of Mama Sisulu mean to us today? What is it that we must do to properly honor her legacy? Maybe just to allow me, Program Director, just to go a bit further and paint a picture of who Mama Sisulu was, and I decided to borrow a few words from an interview she did in 1989 as the political situation in South Africa was undergoing a fundamental change. Apartheid was on the brink of collapse. She said, I quote, "I was the First Lady, the only First Lady who was present in the first meeting when they were forming ANC Youth League. That in 1949 had a program of action. And in 1953, the government decided to give our children what they call Bantu education. We as women wouldn't take this. We organized other women against the Bantu education, and we closed the schools. We thought of forming an organization that will put all the women together so that at least our fight will be easy if we speak with one voice. Now we formed an organization which was called Federation of South African Women in 1954. In 1955, we joined as Federation of South African Women the launching of the Freedom Charter in Kliptown. In 1956, we organized 20,000 women to go to Union Building and protest against Bantu education to our children and passed laws, unquote. You will also recall that she was also a founding member of the United Democratic Front, UDF, which was very instrumental in bringing apartheid to its knees. From what she said in that interview, it is clear that she was not only involved in almost all the seminal political moments in involving her generation, she was also passionate about the women emancipation and involvement of women in shaping society for the better. It is also evident that she is someone who was not only passionate about education, but she also understood the importance of good education. She led women in her community to fight against the bad education system that has caused a lot of damage in our country. Again, we should ask ourselves the question, more especially as women, what is it that we must do to properly honor her legacy? We are gathered here to celebrate women who through education and hard work are making a huge contribution towards knowledge production in our country. The South African Women in Science Awards have become symbolic for South Africa's celebration of Women's Month since their inception in 2003. The event has been growing in leaps and bounds over the years. The year 2018 marks the 15th edition of these awards. We have taken a decision to change a name of the awards from the Women in Science Awards, as everybody has known them, and it is now be called South African Women in Science Awards. I must allay your fears, it's not one of those things that we change because there's a new minister, I must say. We did this to avoid confusion with the Water Institute of South Africa, as many of us tend to know it as WISA in terms of the acronym. So we felt that it was necessary for us to distinguish these awards that we are having. Henceforth, these awards will be referred as SAWISA. So we just wanted to make sure that there is a distinction between WISA and SAWISA. But again, another thing I need to announce is that you recall that last month we launched the 64 antenna meerkat, which is a huge milestone for science and astronomy in our country. To celebrate this milestone, we have decided to introduce a commemorative meerkat award to an outstanding woman astronomer. And this we're doing very specifically to say that we have traveled so much, and therefore this is one of the areas that we've got to be able to say, if we are doing well as South Africa, we must be able to find women in that field who are doing well. And this award will be given to a distinguished woman astronomer nominated by the South African Radio Astronomy Observatory. You'd know that this one was not part of, we couldn't get the nomination to process it in the manner that we process other nominations. So we had to get a nomination from the South African Radio Astronomy Observatory. Other changes we have made, which are in line with celebrating Mama Sisulu and her legacy, with permission from the Sisulu family. Unfortunately, they were not able to join us. I think they have been overwhelmed by a number of activities that are happening across the country. And this, we did accept their apology for this evening. The department has henceforth renamed the DST Fellowship Award to being DST Albertina Sisulu Awards. So those that have known the DST Fellowship Awards would know that from now on, they will be carrying the name of Mama Albertina, because we believe that her legacy needs to be living amongst us, and we must continue beyond celebrating 100 years to recognize her and have a legacy. In addition, the personal prizes have also been increased by 15,000 per award, I must announce. Hope the winners are looking forward to it. And Tata Africa has also increased the per capita values of the Tata Scholarship by 15,000 per award as well. So meaning from 60,000 to 75,000 this year. To further pay homage to Mama Sisulu's legacy, the DST will be establishing an Albertina Sisulu Sachi Chair in nursing. It should be remembered It should be remembered that Mama Sisulu trained as a nurse and encouraged graduates to use their learning to improve people's lives. The chair will deepen research in nursing policy and/or practice and contribute to the advancement of healthcare and the betterment of society. The research chair will be awarded to a university that is linked to a relevant health facility such as a hospital. In the coming months, we will initiate the process of making the chair active, and it will be subjected to authoritative peer review process run by the NRF. And we will be, I'm hoping a lot of us will be looking, those who are in the nursing space or know people who are in this field, will be looking for the call to be able to apply. In conclusion, Program Director, I wish to all the nominees for the various categories the best of luck. And I must say that you are all winners today. And I must also conclude by saying you're all looking beautiful. I'm with my husband who actually told me when I left that I look beautiful. So I must pass that. Thank you very much.